Hey, this is Lady, and today I am here to do my nonfiction November 2015 wrap up. My TBR consisted of 3 books for the nonfiction November 2015 challenge. And actually, my nonfiction challenge has lasted or carried on into December because today is December 7th, and I just finished the first book that I started on November 1. And that book is this: The Warmth of Other Suns, The Epic Story of America's Great Migration by Isabel Wilkerson. I really enjoyed this book. It took me longer to read than expected, but it was close to 600 pages. I'm going to go into a lot of detail about each book because each book I read was really good, and I feel that they each deserve its own book talk. So later, when I get my life right and get more time, I'm going to give special time or post special videos to these books. This one was really good, and just a brief synopsis: it covers the Great Migration of African American people from the South to northern states and or to the West. One of the main characters, he goes from Louisiana to California. Another character, she goes from Mississippi to Chicago, and another one from Florida to Harlem. And it was a wonderful book, well written, so much history, and I would strongly suggest it. The next book, and the first book that I finished in November, was The Sisters Are All Right, and it's by Tamara Winfrey Harris. I really enjoyed it. It's already back at the library, so I'll insert a picture of the book here. That book was about the different caricatures and stereotypes that have been placed on African American women through the years, and it helps to get rid of those stereotypes by talking about who we really are as African American women. I will be posting a video about it later on, and I would strongly suggest you read it. The next book I read was To Be Young, Gifted, and Black by Lorraine Hansberry, and the very reason that I chose to read that book was I saw the introduction was by the wonderful Mr. James Baldwin, and I really enjoyed it. I'm only familiar with A Raisin in the Sun by her. Let me insert a clip of the book. Now, Lorraine Hansberry, she wrote more than just A Raisin in the Sun, and I feel had I been more familiar with some of her other plays, I would have understood the book a little bit more. I still enjoyed it nonetheless, and she was so talented, such poise, such a strong woman, and died at such a young age, 34 years old. I couldn't believe it, but she left so much for the world in the short time she was here. Another book that I read in November, which is not included in my nonfiction November TBR, and I don't think it falls under the category, but since I'm doing a wrap up for November, I figure I would go ahead and mention this one: The Citizen, an American Lyric by Claudia Rankin. This book was great. It's actually a book of poetry and like short essays, I would call it. And I'm not really good with poetry. Sometimes I have a difficult time understanding poetry, but this was really good. I would recommend anybody who reads it who has read this year's Coats Between the World and Me, and also The Fire Next Time. I think like all of those books like go together, and this one would also be great with it. I decided to pick it up when I saw the whole story about the girl at the Donald Trump rally, and she, totally it was ignoring him, and she was reading this book while in the stands, and I had to get it to see what was going on, and this was really good. I really enjoyed it. I would strongly recommend it, and I will post a video later talking about it in more detail. So if you participated in the nonfiction November read along or readathon, please let me know in the comments below so I can check out your videos. I would definitely be adding more nonfiction, like the books that I read, to my TBR, because a lot of them just read like stories. They weren't like a whole bunch of statistics. I didn't find them boring. And I think the key to reading nonfiction is to find subjects that you are actually genuinely interested in. That way it would be easier for you to read them, because we do tend to, most people tend to anyway, shy away from nonfiction. But like the warmth of other suns, like I was calling the people characters, this is all nonfiction. These are actually living people, well, people from the past, but I call them characters because it was written like I was reading just a regular fiction novel that I always enjoy. Tag was originated by Fic Books and Books with Olive, I think. I'll tag link theirs below. I hope you all enjoyed this wrap up, and remember to come back later, because all these books deserve their own video, and I will get to it one day. I thank you for watching. This is Lady, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.